like the video.
What up, derps?
Drake vs. Kendrick, Eminem vs. MGK, Meg Thee Stallion vs. Nicki Minaj. We are obviously no stranger to covering rap beef on this show. But today we're doing something that's a little bit different. Eminem is inarguably a top 10 rapper of all time. One of the GOATs. Mariah Carey, low-key, also probably a top 10 pop star too, like living legend, especially during a certain time of year. But what do these two people have to do with each other? What do they have in common? Why am I putting both of their names in the same little notepad in GarageBand? Apparently, these two may or may not have had a relationship. There may or may not have been diss records exchanged. We are going to try and get to the bottom of it, figure out what's going on here, because I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of weird. Derapy. So there are a few things that I want to explore here. One, did these two date? Like, did Eminem and Mariah Carey actually have a real romantic relationship? Eminem says that they dated and she sucks. And Mariah Carey's saying that they didn't date. And not only does he suck, he's also kind of crazy. So like, what is truly good? Two, are there disses? Are there tracks? Are there records? Are there songs where these two are talking about each other? What are they saying? What does it mean? And then finally, number three, who came out looking more weird from this situation? I have a feeling I know what the answer is going to be, but I truly don't know the history. So we're going to find out together today. So I am going to be referring to this article from Us Weekly called Eminem and Mariah Carey's History Explained, a complete timeline of their feud. And if there's anything that feels out of place or weird, I will look for a different article so I can actually find a source for it. We're journalisming today. Article starts with, it's hard not to be obsessed with Eminem and Mariah Carey's long-standing feud.
Oh, bro.
So this kicks off by saying that according to Rolling Stone, Eminem told them in 2002. I don't want to say anything disrespectful because I respect her as a singer, but on the whole personal level, I'm not really feeling it. I just don't like her as a person. Eminem says, I gotta be honest, I learned a lesson from it. Don't believe the hype. I have respect for her, but she doesn't really have it all together. I'll just say that, and that she's a beautiful woman. So this is 2002, and Eminem claims that he respects her as a singer, as an artist, as a human being, but when it comes to like just her as a person, he just doesn't like her. Now this article says, from Carey's perspective, she never had a romantic relationship with Eminem. Instead, the singer only viewed their short bond as professional. Interesting. So this starts in 2001. This article reads, as Eminem was at the top of his career, Carey wanted to see if he would help with her Charm Bracelet album. According to Eminem, a romantic relationship formed and lasted for several months. Carey, however, said it was purely professional. Interesting. I feel like as somebody that is currently looking at the Charm Bracelet album by Mariah Carey and seeing that Eminem's not even on it, but they were talking for months, what are y'all talking about then? So in May 2002, Eminem drops The Eminem Show, and listeners noticed the rapper shout out to Carey on the song Superman. Now Eminem raps on the song, what you trying to be, my new wife? What you Mariah, fly through twice? Now in a separate song called When the Music Stops, Eminem said, what the frick you take me for, a joke? You smoking crack? Before I do that, I'd beg Mariah to take me back. Now, one thing that I do think is worth noting that's not in this article, but makes sense to me, so I had to look it up. I was like, maybe there was some flight back and forth between these two to see each other, because if they didn't end up getting a song on the album together, and they'd been talking back and forth for months, why is he talking about flying through twice? So apparently, there must have been some flight from somebody to go see the other. I think, now I don't have this specific bit source. I'll see if I can find something later or if my editor can dig it up. But Mariah Carey had a private jet and was using that to see Eminem. That sounds a little bit more than just professional, but I don't know. So Mariah Carey actually fires back on a song that's titled Clown that I had not heard before. And she says, you should have never intimated we were lovers when you know very well we never even touched each other. Interesting. So now Mariah Carey is on wax. December 2002 saying we literally never touched. Now, if Eminem is saying that these two dated, grown people, these two people dated, and they had no physical contact, that's weird. Either that's incredibly weird or Mariah Carey is straight up lying. What is the truth? This article would claim that she would go on an interview with Larry King and she would clarify, I hung out with him, I spoke to him on the phone, I think I was probably with him a total of 4 times, and I don't consider that dating somebody. Okay, so you were with him 4 times, no music got made, you were talking on the phone with him, and here's my thing. She's giving this interview at that time, like at that present time. 4 times is such a small amount of times for her to say, I was probably with him a total of 4 times. 4 times and you didn't touch at all and you didn't make any music either? Like, I don't know, Mariah. I don't know. I'm going almost fully based off of like intuition and personal experience and like general social and like awareness. It just feels weird that they got together, but they hung out. They're on the phone. They're flying back and forth to see each other. Mariah Carey's like, yeah, literally nothing happened. I'm not saying that, like, I don't believe her, but it just seems less likely that literally nothing happened than literally something happened. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? Now, in 2003, according to this article, the New York Post reported that Eminem saved, quote unquote, several long, gushy voicemails from Mariah Carey that he could use in a song. In response to the rumors, Carey told the publication, I don't know what the hell he's doing. It's a little excessive. Doesn't it seem a little bit girly, like we're in a cat fight? But notice how she didn't say that the voicemails weren't real. That's all I'm saying. Because if it was strictly professional like she says it was, if literally nothing happened, then whether these voicemails exist or not is extremely important.
Editor Derek here, and the voicemails exist.
So based on what I found, it looks like a bit of the voicemail was played in this song by Eminem called The Warning, which isn't even on streaming platforms from what I can see. I might have to get it from YouTube when we get to that date, but this is heating up. I'm getting concerned. Now, in 2006, Eminem dropped a song called Jimmy Crack Corn, where he said, your mind's on us like mine's on Mariah. He rapped, and y'all are just like her. Y'all are fucking liars. Later that year, he reportedly went on Shade 45 Radio and said he was in a relationship with the singer for about 7 months. So Eminem's story from 2002 all the way through 2006 is the exact same. 6-7 months, they legitimately dated. They had a real relationship. Mariah Carey's trying to say, I saw him like 4 times. But Eminem is like, these things are real. Like, this relationship really happened. It's just kind of hard for me to imagine that Eminem would spend 4 years talking about this thing if literally nothing happened. I don't know. I do want to include this as part of this as part of this bit here in 2006. Eminem was quoted saying, I wasn't really into what she was into. Our personalities collided. She's a diva, and I'm a little more regular, I guess. You hear that, guys? Eminem is just a super normal dude. Yeah, man, you're just a run-of-the-mill, old-fashioned Joe. Now, 2009 is when things get absolutely out of control. Eminem drops this song called Bagpipes from Baghdad. And I think it's a lot funnier if I just play it for you. YouTube might cook us for this. You know what, man? Join the derps for $1. Who cares? Let's just run it.
Locked in Mariah's wine cellar, all I had for lunch was red wine, more bread wine, and Captain Crunch.
Eminem's talking about how they didn't work out because he's just a regular guy. Meanwhile, starts a song saying that he's locked in Mariah's wine cellar. All he had for lunch was bread wine, more bread wine, and Captain Crunch. What is this man on? I have a theory that Eminem, because of his perceived relationship with Mariah Carey, in his mind a real relationship, he might actually be talking about things that are legitimately like in her pantry or in her wine cellar, which is like kind of crazy if true.
And Captain Crunch, red wine for breakfast and for brunch, and to soak it up and in between snack crackers to munch. Mariah, what's ever happened to us? Why did we have to break up? All I asked for was a glass of punch. You see, I never really asked for much. I can't imagine what's going through your mind after such.
Something had to have happened. Like, he's directly referencing a breakup. Why did we have to break up? Whatever happened to us? Like, I don't think this is just the longest bit ever or an episode of somebody that legitimately imagined an entire relationship with somebody like Arthur Fleck in the first Joker, the actually good movie. Like, I just have a hard time believing that Eminem's just been running with this bit, with this story for years and years and years. Also, I think it's funny how initially he was like, oh, you know, I'm not going to say anything bad about her. I respect her as an artist. She's a beautiful person, but, you know, I just don't really like her all that much, but I don't really want to get into it like that. And he goes from that to this song, where he's not only just really being a nuisance to her, but attacking anybody with new relationships with her.
Luis Miguel, Nick Cannon, but the back the fuck up. I'm not playing, I want the back your pump. This is Hello Kitty bedspread satin.
So Eminem is thrown down the gauntlet, joking or not. He triples down on his relationship with her and says, I assume jokingly, he says that he'd kick Nick Cannon in his sack of junk and he wants her back, you punk. Nick Cannon would say in a blog post, because that used to be a thing, he would say, I thought we got past the days where white men could spew vulgar obscenities at our beautiful queens and get away with it. He wrote in a since deleted letter, so, Miss Marshall, I'm going to make you wish you never spoke my name and regret the ungodly things you said about my wife. Now, to be fair, shout out Nick Cannon for, you know, having his girls back. I mean, he did write it in a blog post, but he said he was going to make Eminem regret what he did, what he said about him, about his girl. Now, this is where Mariah Carey, to her credit, actually strikes back with the classic known as Obsessed.
Get it poppin', why you so obsessed with me? Boy, I wanna know, lying that you're sexy.
It's so funny because I remember hearing this song when I was in middle school. It was literally everywhere. I had no clue it was even about Eminem. But now it's pretty obvious. Like, she has the bars about how you in LA, I'm out at Jermaine's. Eminem was working a lot with Dr. Dre in Los Angeles, while Mariah was literally in the A, Atlanta, working with Jermaine Dupri. She says, no one mentions your name. Like, we're not even talking about you, bro. You're irrelevant.
And you're not my boyfriend.
Now, Eminem was low-key taking shots at Mariah, saying that she's a drinker in the Baghdad track. So in this track, she says, must be the weed, must be the E, because you poppin', heard you get it poppin'. Like, she kind of snapped. I'm not going to lie. Mariah continues by saying he's upset, and if he was the last man on earth, he still couldn't get with her. And the second verse, I will say, however, she says that Eminem is like a mom and pop, and she's a corporation, which, you know, it sounds good on paper. And she was killing it at the time, but Eminem would go on to be named, like, Artist of the Decade, I think, just a few months after this song came out. But regardless, I think this is like a really, really good diss from Mariah Carey. Very effective, very responsive, very personal, and it was a smash hit. Like, women all over. I remember even girls in like middle school and high school, when I was that age, were talking about that song and referencing it whenever there was like a boy that was getting on their nerves or wouldn't leave them alone. She also dropped a video. Mariah Carey dropped a music video where she literally dressed up as Eminem and was like standing herself, following herself around, had like a shrine dedicated to her. Like, it was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I just watched it. So in my mind at this point, Mariah Carey is winning. Men lie, women lie. The numbers don't though. This is like a generational track. But then Eminem would really lock in. Like, he took it personally. And I think it's safe to say that despite this song being called The Warning, this man is not holding back at all.
Yeah, Dre sick track, perfect way to get back. Wanna hear something wick whack? I got the same exact tat that's on Nick's back. I'm obsessed now. Oh geez, that's supposed to be me in the video with the goatee. Wow, Mariah didn't expect it to go balls out. Bitch, shut the fuck up before I put all them phone calls out.
Yeah, guys, Eminem is I think he's upset. He's talking about how he has the same exact tat that's on Nick's back. He like directly addresses the song Obsessed. He talks about the music video where Mariah Carey's in the goatee. He's calling her the B word and he's telling her to shut the freak up before he puts the phone calls out, which is proof that he does in fact have those gushy voicemails from all of those studio sessions where him and Mariah Carey were only doing professional things.
Shut the fuck up before I put all them phone calls out. You made to my house when you was wildin' out. Before, Nick, when you was on my dick and give you something to smile about. How many times you fly to my house, still trying to count. Better shut your lying mouth if you the one they grinding out. You probably think cause it's been so long, if I had something on you, I would've did it by now. Oh, on the contrary, Mary Poppins, I'm mixing our studio session down and sending it to mastering to make it loud.
I just kind of am operating under the assumption that Eminem wouldn't talk about these things with so much confidence if they literally didn't exist. It would be one thing if Eminem was telling a story about fictional characters, but the way in which he delivers these lines, it seems pretty obvious that, like, I don't think he has access to, like, AI at this point in 2009. I don't think he's gonna fabricate fake voicemails or come up with fake information. Like, I'm pretty, like, if I'm just speaking to you guys, like, truthfully, like, outside of, you know, the rules of journalism, it just seems kind of improbable that Eminem is dropping these disses and being this angry about a completely fabricated relationship. Do you guys get that vibe at all? It's like sometimes, what's that clip from Boondocks? The absence of evidence is the evidence of absence or something like that. I don't know, man. I just got a feeling. That something happened between Mariah Carey and Eminem, because in order to take her side, you have to take the side of this relationship did not exist. These people had nothing but professional conversations, and Eminem is literally writing these tracks, talking about these voicemails that aren't real, and completely just fabricating an entire beef between him and one woman that's not even the mother of his child. Like, we know how much he hated Kim for a time. We know about some issues that Eminem has had with other people in his lives, and they're all based in truth. It just seems kind of unbelievable that this one he would completely make up. But please, by all means, tell me if I'm wrong. I am not an Eminem expert, okay? I'm just kind of like dealing in common sense. You feel me?
Enough dirt on you to murder you. This is what the fuck I do. Mariah, it ever occur to you that I still have pictures? However you prefer to do, and that goes for Nick too, faggot. You think I'm scared of you? You're gonna ruin my career, you better get one. Like I'ma sit and fight with you over some slut bitch cunt that made me put up with a psycho ass over 6 months and only spread her legs to let me hit once. Yeah, what?
Hey guys, Editor Derek popping in, just to remind you to
Like the video.
if you thought that we would be able to play tracks like this from Eminem and keep this video monetized, you would be wrong. So please, if you're enjoying the content, if you appreciate what we've put out so far, or if you've just been having a good time the past 17 minutes and 49 seconds, please consider not only liking the video, but also joining the Patreon or becoming a member. You get all types of access to exclusive perks, exclusive community posts. You can join the Derapy Discord, all types of fun stuff. So consider doing that as we continue talking about how angry Eminem is at Mariah Carey.
We're far past the point of this being like a long-running bit, a funny little joke. Oh yeah, I'm obsessed with her. Ooh, I'm in her wine cellar. This man is clearly very bothered by the success of Obsessed, which makes perfect sense. Like, if you watch the music video for Obsessed, if you look at the lyrics, they're personal, they're cutting, and it really paints Eminem in the light of being completely delusional about this relationship. Now, Eminem has decided to go the route of just calling Mariah Carey just the most obscene things that you could imagine. Friendly reminder that Derapy is kind of a show for adults. We're talking about
Real trap shit.
so yeah, I don't feel like it's necessary to go through the rest of the lyrics of this entire song. The point is, Eminem would continue to go into like really sick detail about the things that he got up to with Mariah Carey. If you would like to go listen to the song, go listen to the song. It's called The Warning. It feels like much more of a warning, but he continues to talk about her alcoholic mind. He talks about the things particularly that she may or may not be into. He calls her a whore. It's just really, really mean stuff. There is a reference to trying to stick 2 CDs in the same slot. Now, I can only imagine what that means. I don't know. I am a God-fearing man. But there is a point towards the end of this track where there are clips from Mariah Carey that I can only assume that Eminem has because of their personal time together. So yeah, take from that what you will. What would happen after the warning though? For reasons I can't imagine, Mariah Carey would not respond through any more music. In 2010, with an interview with Vibe magazine, Eminem showed signs of wanting to move on from the feud. He said, "I really don't want to keep talking about her anymore. I don't want to keep beating a dead horse. I'm not even going to comment about it. I'm done with that whole situation. I said what I had to say. I'm done." So when it comes to the tracks, when it comes to Clown and Obsessed from Mariah Carey, and then the Baghdad joint and the warning, I gotta lean Eminem, because it's kind of clear that he just took it to a place that Mariah Carey didn't want to go. There are levels to this, you feel me? That doesn't mean that Eminem is more right in this situation. I'm still coming out of this not knowing the extent of the relationship. You guys will have to let me know what you think in the comments. My personal opinion is that it may not have been quite as deep as Eminem claims, but it's definitely not completely nothing. That's my opinion. So it looks like, according to this article that I have been referencing, this is 2016. Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey would unfortunately end up being divorced, and Nick Cannon would speak on the Eminem situation, saying, "The way the Eminem thing started was that I never even had an issue with him. If anything, I've been one of his biggest fans, but when another man crosses a line of disrespect, then you got to deal with it." Really can't blame Nick Cannon for anything that he did in this situation. I didn't go through the Nick Cannon diss tracks, if there are any, because I honestly just don't care. It doesn't really matter, because they ended up getting divorced anyway, so who even really cares? But yeah, it looks like he was a fan of Eminem, but, you know, at the end of the day, if Eminem's saying wild stuff about your girl, despite the fact that it's Eminem and the world might be against you, shout out to Nick Cannon for at least standing up for his chick, you know. Then in 2019, on T.I.'s Expeditiously podcast, which I'm just certain, I'm not even gonna look this up, I know it's probably doesn't exist anymore. Nick Cannon revealed that Eminem had apologized. Things took a turn, however, when Eminem appeared on Fat Joe's single Lord Above during his portion of the song. The star called Carey a nut job. I'm not gonna lie, okay? Apologizing is good, and I'm glad that Eminem did it, because, like, there's really no reason for him to go that crazy, call Mariah Carey all those names. But it is very on brand for Eminem to apologize to Nick Cannon personally and then continue to call Mariah Carey names. But yeah, that's the end of this article from 2001 to 2019. We got multiple diss tracks back and forth speaking on this man's wife, between Nick Cannon, Mariah Carey, Eminem. What a story. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if there's anything that I talked about that you did not know anything about when it comes to this dispute between these two. Let me know what I missed, please. I am so fascinated by this story, but I don't want to spend hours talking about it, because there's a lot more to do, a lot more beefs to cover, a lot more songs, tracks, albums to get into. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this really quick because it always intrigued me. Let me know what you think. Like the video, consider supporting the channel by joining our Patreon we just started. Gonna start uploading older episodes there, ad-free, remastered. And if you want to join the community, become a derp for real, you can join for as little as $1, join the Derapy only Discord, blah, blah, blah. Check the membership perks. Love you, mean it. Enjoy the outro live show tonight. Later!
Oh my god. Where did he steal this beat from? Here we go again.
Yo, YBH.
Who'd he take this from, like J. Cole or something? You are not J. Cole, dude.
Tired of being nice, switch it up like Walter White, man. Telling me to relax, I do the opposite, get hype, man. Growing up a nerd, a geek, a freak, a loser, virgin, and a burden, but I'm turning into something y'all don't recognize. Turning up my way like the highway, I require more speed. Oh, please tell me you get more cheese, and I will likely agree. I'ma keep it running for us. Run this town, you just a tourist. Borough where I reside, but I decided I may do more. I was watching Wheezy in a hotel room just spitting rhymes, and damn, it just occurred to me that I can't really make excuses. I thought it'd be easy. I was was in my room in summertime, and thank God it occurred to me that I probably need more practice. Staying humble, stay off Bumble, already got my queen. Derapy the regime, swear I'm living the dream. Y'all are sleep, you tucked in, only worth $1.10, but by the end of my stint, you'll remember Buxton.
Damn.
And I'm never finished, do this shit till I die. Ready for the bronze, I'm ready for the high life, ready to make highlights, don't waste my time, cooler than the sonic ice. Haters get bubonic die, rest will witness my rise. I'm shining like a skylight, I'm way too scared.